the neighborhood. It's a beautiful day for a neighbor. Won't you be my? Could you be my? Would you be my fishing neighbor? What's up, people? Out trying to catch some catfish. Give y'all a minute to join in on the freak show. Baits are in the water. They're a dragon. Give me a thumbs up or a shout or a hey hey or something once you're in here. There we go. There's some people. People are alive. All right. Lovely, lovely. We'll give everybody a minute to come in here. Make sure that thing is angled the right way. Yep, turn that way. Bada bing. Good crowd. Good crowd. Good morning, everybody. I hope y'all are having a good start to your Labor Day weekend. Remember, it's Labor Day. It's for those of us who work, and I'm not working today. I am off. Someone tell us the history of Labor Day and where it came from. Anybody know that? Put that into the comment section below. We'll try to get up here where I can see. Sun's a brutal this morning. It is a beautiful morning for fishing. It was about 57 when I got out this morning, and which is nice. It's kind of that hint of fall going on. Put my sunglasses on until I try to read these. And it's beautiful, just that hint of fall. I had a hoodie on to start with, but sadly, starting to get warm. Sun's up. Very little haze, very little clouds in the sky. The sun is cutting through. So it's gonna be a warm one. It's gonna get up into the 80s today. Our water temperatures are about 84. They dropped a little bit. I was out here doing some guide trips last week, and it was up into the upper 80s. So starting to come down a little bit, but it's not exactly low by any means. So what I'm doing this morning, I'm giving everybody time to get in here. That way I can kind of go over what the heck is happening. By the way, good little crowd of people. Thanks for dropping by. Like 40-some people. That's good for the morning. Generally speaking, mornings aren't the best time to do a live stream, especially on a Saturday morning, especially on Labor Day weekend, because, well, most people that watch the channel are fishermen, and it's a great time to get out and go fishing, and hopefully you're out fishing. If you're watching it from home, I appreciate you checking in. If you're watching it while you're fishing, that's pretty cool. Most of the country right now is in pretty good shape. Feel for you guys in the Northeast. Any of you folks that happen to be watching from up there in the Northeast, the New York area, and New York State and all that craziness up there with the floods. Unreal with what y'all got. That is a very, very, historic flooding levels. Not to mention the other end of the country, about as far south as you can go. Well, not really as far south, but the folks in Louisiana hammered, absolutely hammered by a storm. So a lot of extreme weather in a short amount of time. So thoughts and prayers to you folks in those areas. Hopefully none of you were too horribly affected in the sense of any loss of life or anything like that, but there's gonna be a lot of people affected just with damage and inconvenience and everything else. Even over in Middle Tennessee, I know Paula Smith, I just did a podcast with her this week. She was over in that Waverly, Tennessee area that was affected by a bunch of the flash flooding they had. That's the funny thing, a lot of this stuff is flash flooding. I mean, some of it's river flooding, I know some of the stuff in the Northeast, but there's a lot of flash flooding too, with these just epic amounts of rain that fell in a very, very short amount of time. So thoughts and prayers for you guys, everybody down in Louisiana with the hurricane. It's almost like they're used to that kind of stuff, even though still it's catastrophic every time it hits. But here, it's beautiful. Bluebird skies. We had a front come through day before yesterday, nothing big, and it's nice out here. And what I'm doing is just dragging through here, drifting, pulling some baits, going about 0.3, 0.4, and actually I probably need to pick up the speed a little bit. Trying to find some fish. I picked off 2 this morning. I had one about 10, 11 pounds. And then I had a small one that was about, 3 or 4 pound channel catfish. So it's kind of what's happening. Nothing. It's back up. There we go. Maybe getting some bad cell signal here, which is bad. I'm supposed to be in a good cell signal area. So hopefully stays up. So give me a thumbs up if you still see me. I still see me. I still see comments coming in. So we'll see what's going on. But dragging through here, I'm up on a flat now. And like I said, I just got perch. I didn't have any chicken at the house this morning. I've been working, gone a bunch here recently, and all over the place. And so yeah, that's just didn't have any. We're in about 19 feet of water, almost 20. A big flat air, some humpsy dumpsies in through here. It's going to roll up onto a point. I'm going to go into the mouth of a creek. I was hoping there were some perch. I've got a perch rod out right over here, and the other ones are planer boards. I'll give you a show real quick. I'll show you what we can see here. Now you can't see anything because my hand's over the camera. Flip her around, boom, there we go. Now we can see. This side, these two rods are planer boards that are back right there and right there. I got those out. Those are some B-Cat planer boards. This line goes straight out the back of the boat, so it's basically straight out. Same thing with this one. We just kind of replicate the pattern on this side. And that right there is a fish on that rod. That's on the perch rod. Could be perch, looks like a catfish. We'll get to that. But that's planer boards. Planer board over there on those two rods. So what we're gonna do is spin back around here and get this back into the holder. And we're gonna go catch this fish over here. I think it's a perch or catfish, we'll see. Probably a catfish. It's not herky-jerky like a perch. Get it up here, see what we got. I got a new reel. I'll roll on this. There he is. New reel on the boat. Simmer, simmer, simmer. Simmer, simmer. Simmer. Simmer down, simmer down. There we go. There we go. I'll show you the reel in a second. Little channel catfish. Remember, any fish caught in a live stream is a good fish. There he is. I'll show you the rod reel combo here. Nice little channel. Remember, channel cats, the anal fin. That fin right there is how you identify these fish. One, by how many rays. That's those little things that look like bones. But also the quick, easy way. See how it's rounded on the outside? If we catch us a blue here in a minute, you'll see that it looks like somebody took a pair of scissors and cut straight across this anal fin. That one's kind of rounded on the edge of it. So if we get one, we'll get them in here. Obviously, on the juveniles, they got the little spots. That's kind of the cheater way to do it. But get them back in the water. Shoot. So here's what this is. This is one of my perch rigs, double hook rig. Turn it there. Y'all have seen the videos. As a matter of fact, I got one coming out next week that shows how I tie this rig. Matter of fact, I may have used this actual rig to do the video. But it's just a little bitty weight on one end. And it's got a couple of dropper loops with some little bitty hooks on it. With that right there is pieces of white perch that is on there. So, new reel. This is, I try not to get it caught in the bimini top. Nice job, digger. This is made by Runcel. R-U-N-C-L. R-U-N-C-L. They sent me one of these things to try out. I've had some other, this is the Titan 2 2000. This is a 2000 series reel. But I got some of these. They're a nice, affordable reel. They got them in different sizes, bigger ones for catfish. But I told them to send me a couple of the smaller ones. See how they perform, because they will get a lot of work catching perch and crappie, that kind of stuff. So anyway, there's a fish in the boat. He's not big, but he counts. He is a catfish. So there we go. Let me show you back around here, and then I'll try to answer some questions. We were interrupted by a fish, which is a good thing to have happen. Again, planer boards on this side, boom, planer board there. They're attached to these two rods. This rod here is the outside one, that's why it's up higher. This one's a little bit lower, inside planer. This rod straight out the back. Same thing this side, reverse the order. Rod straight out the back, inside planer board, which is that one, outside planer board, which is that. And then we got our little perch rod down there with the double hook with a couple of pieces of white. That is what is on that one. There's little bitty pieces of white perch I cut off of there. Over here off the cutting board, we got a perch head that is laying there waiting to hit the water. And that's kind of what we're up to. New boat motor too. Thank you to the folks at Huntley Marine, Pineville, North Carolina. A nice Suzuki 115. I replaced my 90. She gave me a lot of good service, a lot of good years, and she was running when I got rid of her. But I got another one a little bit bigger. Doing the guide trips now, hauling around, as I say, a little flip around camera, there we go. When you're hauling around a little more butt in the boat, it's nice to have a little bigger motor. So the 115 is really nice, especially having some people on the boat. So that's why I got it. Love the Suzuki motors, great motors. Huntley hooked me up. Hit up Zach Taylor if you're ever looking for a boat or a motor. They've got, let me get this back in there. I know a lot of people in the, get that adjusted. I need a new arm for my camera. A lot of people in the catfish world like using Sea Arc boats. Huntley Marine sells Sea Arc boats. They also sell a bunch of different other pontoons and stuff like that, pleasure boats, and full marine dealer. And yeah, they can get their hands on the stuff. So anyway, that is what's going on here. It's just a matter of dragging and trying to hook into a decent fish. I'm confident we're going to hit one here shortly. It's just a matter of where they're at. I'm doing a little bit of recon to try to figure out where these fish are. So, oh, screen's going to go dark on me. That's what I didn't want to have happen. That's the thing that sucks. So yeah, there we go. It's just so hard to see anything out here on this thing when it gets heated up. But as far as the fishing goes, it's good now. We're kind of into that pre-fall, I'm gonna put this back in here, kind of stage of, I say pre-fall. Meteorologically, we're in fall. We still got a couple of weeks before it's the calendar fall, which I guess is the 21st. But it, you know, it's getting nice. It's getting halfway predictable with the fishing. It's just a matter of figuring out where they're at. Once you find what's going on and what's working, it can be productive. The bad part is there's a lot of fish on mussel beds right now. If I had chicken with me, I would feel a lot more confident because they really maul that stuff around these mussel beds. I think it's just the amino acids in it that really make it work, and it's a good thing to have. Don't have any this morning. Gonna have it tomorrow, and see if we can see if it helps any catching some fish. I can read any of these comments. Somebody from Beaver Lake, Arkansas. That's a long way. Hello. Somebody saying hey. Like I said, this screen goes real dark. I need to do some of these with the computer out here. It's a lot easier to see or do them at night when it's cooler. But get into there. Get a little chunk of people in here. So one downside to it in the summertime. It's one of the reasons I honestly don't do a lot of live streams out here in the summer is because the phone gets hot, screen goes dark. It's just tough on it. It's a lot better in the wintertime, but I like reading the comments. I like answering the questions. It's just impossible to see them when the screen gets this dark. So, especially with as bright as it is, trying to open up there to see what's there. There's one that popped up. Yeah, it's tough. But I'm fishing, for guys that are asking, probably somebody always asks. I'm on Lake Wylie. I know I get people from all over the country that are watching Lake Wylie, which is on the North Carolina, South Carolina line. I'm actually in South Carolina. If you look right there, that's North Carolina. Right here's South Carolina. It's crazy how it is here. There's literally a line through here that part of it runs the river channel. The middle of the river channel is the dividing line. And then it gets to a point where it makes some turns. And the north end of it, where it kind of comes together around South Fork, it's kind of shady land up there. There's some areas where it doesn't conform. The most part of it, it goes across the river channel, but the northern boundary actually just kind of cuts across some open water across the point, and it's kind of Shadyville there on where you're at. You'll be in and out of North Carolina 2 or 3 times very quickly. The south end, pretty much all the way down to what they call Tiga Cay, which is kind of the lower end of the lake. It's the river channel. The west side is South Carolina, east side is North Carolina. Until you get that Tiga Cay area, and there's just like 90-degree turn with the line, and you kind of have to know where it's at. Ideally, you're better off having both licenses here, unless you know that you are fishing in North Carolina only. And depending on where you're at, I'm gonna duck here out of the sun a little bit, try to get the phone out of it. Depending on where you're at, you can get by with that. You know, I've got people that come out here on guide trips, and they may only have a North Carolina license, and you can fish. You know, you can fish the lake effectively that way. Sometimes it can be harder. I like having both licenses, and it's great when people do a guide trip and they have both licenses, because then you don't have to worry about being on one side or the other. North Carolina and South Carolina do not have a reciprocal agreement on this lake. It's an age-old pissing match between the two states, and it goes back to the way it worked in South Carolina with the license money and stuff. When you used to buy licenses at a hardware store, sporting goods store, something like that, that county got part of the money out of the licenses that were sold. South Carolina said, oh, we're right next to Charlotte, blah, blah, blah. And they had a congressman that kind of got it changed. So anyway, North Carolina has a reciprocal agreement with with Virginia, Kerr Lake. If you got a North Carolina license, you're good. South Carolina has one with like the Savannah River, with Georgia, all the lakes in the Savannah River. So if you're fishing Clark's Hill, you know, Hartwell, all of those that are on the Georgia-South Carolina border, you're fine. They have the agreement. But yeah, this is an old, silly thing that I wish they would change. There's really no good reason for it. It's just politics. Just politics. So, but it is what it is, what it is. So, no more fishies. No more fishies. Dragging, doing about 0.5 through here. Oh, might be getting hit. Got one going over on this side. I've got B-cap boards out. These boards that I've got out here, these planer boards. I got green on one side, orange on the other. Boom, I think we got one going right there. Y'all see that rod? Can you see it back there? That's a fish. That's a catfish. Why am I not acting any more excited? Well, I got circle hooks. It's either gonna be there or it's not. Let me get this framed up. We'll go catch fish. Dude. Boom. Just so y'all know, I'm working on a video also, so I'm filming all this. Anyway, we hooked up. Hooked up. Finally, long little drag here. First fish we've buttoned into. Not a monster, but we'll take it. Came off those mussel beds. No fish. Breaks my heart. Except for a small channel catfish, which doesn't really count. But it does count. Counts on my fish clicker anyway. I'm gonna nurse this one in. He feels small. That's okay. Boo, don't shake your head. You'll get knocked off. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on. Come on to daddy. Come to daddy. Another channel cat. Come to daddy. Oh, simmer down. Simmer down. Simmer down. Simmer down. Simmer down. Come. Shunk. Boom. Boom. Simmer. This perch. Ah. I lost my bait. Dadgummit. That was a good piece of bait. Shoot. Another channel. Hello world. How are y'all doing? Thank you for watching Duder's podcast. Thank you for watching this video. He's a nice guy. He puts us back in the water, and we love him a whole lot. And I hope that you keep watching and give us a thumbs up and leave some comments and subscribe. Subscribe. I'm telling you, subscribe. You'll get to see me again because he puts me back. And then I get to come back here and be on this camera thing again, and you get to see my whiskers. Look at my whiskers, how big my whiskers are. I got big whiskers. Oh, they're so big. But anyway, thank you for watching Duder Melhorn Fishing, and we'll see you soon. There's the fish, guys. Sometimes the fish like to talk on camera, and we let them talk. So there we go. Let's get them back alive. Back alive. Shoot. He gone. Bada bing, bada boom. All right. Show and tell time, people. Show and tell. Show and tell. Hey, that's 2 fish. We ain't got no giants, but stay tuned. It can happen. It can happen. Hit the clicker. Boom. So here's what we got. Let's do a little tackle breakdown. Some people are going to ask, hey, what are you fishing with? What kind of rig? So get this hung off of this other rod. This is a Santee rig. Obviously, you've seen me do videos on them. If you don't know what that is, I'm going to tell you. On the money end, we got a Hooker's terminal tackle. Circle hook. Put it up there where you can see it. Boom. Why is it called a circle hook? Well, the wire of the hook almost makes a circle. That point comes back 90 degrees to the shank of the hook. That's what a circle hook is. That point is pointed straight up this way or 45 degrees. It's a J hook. It's a J hook with a bent tip. This is a circle hook. That tip or that point points back into the shank of the hook. That's how you can tell. This one is actually offset. You can see it's an offset hook there. And it's got that eye that I like bent because of the way I snell them. I use a uni knot to snell them with. The best knot to use, in my opinion, for a couple of reasons. One, because I can cut this hook off, put a new hook on it, and I don't have to have the other end open. So right here, Trophy Cat Tackle Float. It's one of their Zaraspook style rattling things. You can't hear what I'm saying because this is loud. These are loud. And I use a piece of tape. I run my leader all the way through this thing from up here at the other end where it meets the line. And I don't tie onto all these. I don't like having a bunch of extra knots on there. So I use a piece of electrical tape, put it on there to hold it in place. So you can see how far it is away. It's probably 8 inches away from the hook. That kind of varies. Leader's probably 24 inches. Looks like I got a bunch of perch underneath me. I'll show you the money end. What happens is, like I said, I'll try to get back here where you can see how far the leader is. Boop. Leader line, 50-pound Andy monofilament. Comes up here, connects to a snap swivel, okay? Main line's over here. This is Andy 30-pound monster monofilament. And then it ties on right there. I've got videos on all this stuff. I've got a Bone Town drifting weights. These things are flexible. They're a weight. This one's about 2 ounces, but it's flexible. When it's drifting, it does the snake move. Ooh, Madge, watch it closely. It moves. It bends and flexes. So when you're drifting down through here, boat's moving. This boat is moving. This is drifting. Actually, technically trolling. I'm using a motor, but we're moving. This hits stuff on the bottom. It drags up over it. Helps you to not get as snagged as much. You will still get snagged. Nothing is snag proof, but this helps. So that's what we got there. Oh, we got a fish going on a planer board. Oh, and I got a hook in my foot. It's out. See if he's still on there. Real quick. Real quick. Real quick. I know there's a fish. It's okay. It's okay. People are running back from the kitchen that went to get another cup of coffee because they heard me say I got a fish. Ugly stick. We're using ugly sticks. Old school. These are old school, 7-foot, medium action, ugly sticks. Why? I just wanted to go old school. PC Fun reels. Yep, I think he's still on there. I've got these, if you're interested in these, on my website, DieterMelhornFishing.com. Go to the gear section, and there's links to these reels and a bunch of this stuff that I use on here. So let's go catch a fish real quick, and then we'll get back to more tackle talk. Hold on. I'm gonna leave this one in place. Okay, make sure y'all can see me. Yep, y'all can see me. It's this rod right here. Planer board's out the back. Don't think it's a giant, but we're gonna pop a knot in its lip and bring it in. There we go. Decent fish, decent fish. Happy to have them. That's 2 back to back here. I think this is gonna be a blue. I think, oh, did he come off? Did he come? Nope, he made a turn. That's what he did. Oh, I lost him for a second. Inching him in here. Slime cat reel. Andy monofilament. Ugly stick catfish right. Go nurse him on up here. Beautiful, beautiful day on the water. Cool thing is I'm doing a live video behind me, so you get a little instruction on stuff. Pop my boards, my B-cap boards. I'll show everybody what a B-cap pointer board is here in a second. That up. Boom. Man, I put a lot of line out on this one. He's on top. Go back down, go back down, go back down. Get off the top of the water. Go back down. There we go. That's better. He heard me. Get him back down. There's me in. He's swimming to the boat. He's going to realize he's got a hook in his jaw in a second. Come in, baby girl. Decent fish. Decent fish. Oh, I think I'm at the bogey this one. Some boom. Boom. Slap them. Fish in the boat. What's it gonna weigh? What's it gonna weigh? What's it gonna weigh? About 9 pounds. Okay. Fish. Look at fish. Number 4. There he is, guys. Sorry, I had to get some video of him. About 9 pounds. Hello, world. I told you. My friend told you that Dieter was a good guy, and he is a good guy. He's a very good guy. If he'd get this thing out of my mouth, I'd like him a lot more. Okay, hang on. Sorry. I know. Now, tell him what I was telling you earlier. Okay, so Dieter, if you go fishing with him, he'll give you diet Sundrop, and it tastes good. And I love it because it's got caffeine and it really jacks me up and makes me eat a lot of mussels. And it makes me grow and my belly gets fat. And then I get hooked again and come back in the boat and have to talk to people. There he is, guys. Pretty fish. Old butt's protruding. Sign they're eating mussels. Good fish. Good fish. Bye, world. Get him back alive. Bang! Smackaronis! If you tuned in, folks, you tuned in for the silliness. Remember, we're fishing. We're having fun. If you can't laugh at yourself, well, you'll have a hard time laughing in life. Let me get one of these baited up, get it back out, and then I'm going to show you what a planer board is. So, bear with me. Actually, I'm going to put this one back out. In case you're wondering, that was a perch head. This one has a little bigger float on it. They use this for some of the larger baits. This, you don't really need it with that size bait, but I just kind of got it marked, a little bigger hook. So let me get this one back in the water. Take some line out. What I'm doing is running a planer board on these things. This gives you a spread. It spreads out your lines. These boards go in the water like this, and they're going through there, and then when you quit giving it line, it turns it. And when it turns, water hits this, and it goes out away from the boat. So it's got a little clip on the front of it. This here attaches it to your line. This is in the back. It's just a little snap clip. Different people have different ways to connect them, but that attaches it to the line. So it stays on the line all the time. This up here is the quick release that allows you to put it wherever you want it on line. It's got a little clip. They make different ones that do this. These are made by BCat. These have a EVA foam on them that's really heavy duty. They've done a good job with getting this hot glue or whatever they're using to seal that on there. This is metal, and this here is reversible. You can put this on this side. You have to have that rigged up different on the other side of the boat. So this one is for the starboard side. You would take this rod off, put it over here for the port side so it pulls the right direction. This rod is always facing towards your boat, so kind of a rule thing. You'll mess it up. I do it. You'll put the wrong one out on the wrong side, but the purpose is it gives you a greater spread when you're trolling or dragging baits, and it helps with the tangles a little bit. You'll still get tangled though. Let me get this one in the water. I'm going to be rude and ignore you guys for a second, because what's going to happen here, I got to keep an eye on this board, otherwise it goes out too far. So I'm kind of getting that adjusted. We'll talk more about punter boards in a second though. Let me click that fish off. Boom. All right. That 5? I think so. All right. Let's see where we're at. That's got a fish. There's a fish right there. Can you believe that? We're hooked up again. Bada bing, bada boom. I don't even have this rod back in the boat yet. And that one's going. Engage that. Boom. Hooked up. Boom. Hooked up. Hooked up. This boat slowed down. That's pretty good speed. Might find a magic combo here. This is not a big one. It's about like the last fish. I'm gonna get a perch right out of the way. There you go. Shung Pao. Shung Pao. That's Chinese for I'm moving that rod to the other side of the boat. It's true. Look it up. A little bit of better angle here. I don't want Chunky Cat seeing my video and making fun of it being crooked. Okay. Easy, Muff. Think he's liftable. Think he's liftable. Well, it's feeling like a big channel cat. It's got a lot of head shake. But it looks a little big for a channel cat. Let's see what we got here. That's blue. Blue. Man, I wish that was a channel cat. I wish that was a channel cat. Got a boga here. Yes. I swear, guys, this is not the same fish. Y'all saw me throw it back. Easy. Easy. Simmer, 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 simmer. Simmer down. Bam. Man's in the boat. Man, stop. Listen. Here's the deal. All right. About the same. I know. Listen. Here's the deal. Get you back alive. Okay. I know. Shh. I know. You get to go back. That's part of the deal. You come get on the line. You get to go back. All right. Shh. Get this. No. Stop. Don't say that. You don't mean that. Nice fish. My fish love me. You want to say hey to everybody on camera? Yes, they're on camera. No, they're not going to think you're the other fish. I know. Your cousin always gets the bait first. Well, all right, listen, I know this isn't part of the deal. Normally, I catch you, you get something to eat, you go back, but just Act like I'm nice, okay? Oh, you're not gonna say a thing? Wow. I do all this for you and feed you, and you won't even say hello to the crowd. It's ungrateful fish. Get them back alive. Love our fishies. Shoot. He gone. I'm back. Actually, I'm getting ready to bait some stuff up. Let me get some stuff in the water here. We got rods laying everywhere. Boom. All right, let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. That one, plain old cork. Rock and roll there. I gotta get those two in the water. Let's see. Let's put that on here. Come off of there, baby James. James. Got us a little perch head on that one, guys. A little perch head. There we go. Perfect, perfect. Out. We're gonna need rod's back in the water. Rod's back in the water. Bada bing, bada boom. For those that are wondering, this is what a white perch looks like. A small one. Looks almost like a white bass. Striper family. We're going to cut a fillet off of this, cut the head off, and we'll be fishing. Come back here, come back here, come back here. Back on. We got the planer boards out. This one's gonna have a perch fillet on it. I'll cut a fillet off each side. Nice little bait, along with some rattle. See if we'll catch fish. That one in the gear. That's out, that's out. Fishing. All right, where were we? How's everybody doing? I'm back. We're catching fish. Sorry I ignored everybody. That happens when we catch fish. It's not that I don't love you. It's just there's things I need to tend to. So anyway, dragging some baits. A little bit of boat traffic, ski boat coming by. It's gonna get worse today. Nature's a beast, but everybody please let your friends know. This is Labor Day weekend, and what that means is if you're a weekend warrior that likes to come out here and ski and drag people behind tube or on tubes, after this weekend you need to put your boat up because it's getting cold and nobody wants to be out here when it's cold, and it's time to put your boat in storage for the year and come back and get it next May. So it's time because your boat will blow up if you stay out here when it gets cold. So everybody, just go your merry way and put your boats up, and we'll catch you next spring. Just leave the lake here to the fishermen. We'll get all the debris out of it for you. So everybody say bye-bye. Anyway, what are we up to? We got 6 fish. That's good. Nothing super huge, but we're bending some rods and catching some fish, and that's all I can ask for. Don't know why we got bit all of a sudden. I think I got something planer board upside down here. Bear with me. Yes, planer boards are a little bit more of a management issue. They have some good points, some great points, but you do have to learn how to put them out. And quite honestly, that's going to vary on your boat. People do it differently. You can do it. What I usually do is start on one side, put the boards out on this side, furthest one out, next one in, outside, and work my way over. But you can do it really any way you want to do it. Just figure out what works good for you and the way your boat floats and the way it runs and all that kind of stuff. The way where you put the rods, all that kind of stuff, that's going to vary too. If you've got a T-top on a boat, you can put them up in the rocket launchers on top of the T-top. If you got, you know, like one of those rod bar things, you can put them in that. I've kind of got a configuration that works for me. It's like a lot of this stuff. Different things work for different people, different ways. So you can make it work on your boat is the bottom line if you ever want to try them. But yeah, they're made by BCAT. Good boards. I've got videos on them here on the channel, so you can go check them out. We have got stuff on the Sonar, which I'll show you. Let's go look at the Sonar. Boom. Boom. That's what we're looking at. We're kind of rolling down off a little point here. Kind of rolling down a little deeper. We got a decent arch there. That right there, see that line going zit, 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 looks like a heartbeat? That is the heartbeat of this fish right here. It's like an EKG. I'm just kidding. Guys, I'm just kidding. That is not an EKG. That little line right there is actually my perch rod. It's that rod right there. It's not all the way on the bottom, so it's hanging and it's kind of bouncing and bobbing. So that's what that is right there. I just need to drop that down further because we're rolling down a little slow point down there. And we got some fish scattered. We got some small stuff, which I'm thinking are very, 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 very small juvenile catfish because we've accidentally caught some of these. Maybe some medium-sized catfish. A decent-sized something there that has moved through that area swimming. And then different stuff. There's some crappie in there mixed in. There's some bait balls, a lot of different stuff. So that's kind of what we're rolling across here, just for give you a look at what we're staring at. And we're in 28 feet of water. If I heard the rod. We're in about 28 feet of water right now. So it's gonna kind of roll up out of this onto a point. Then there's a river channel. So we'll see what's in here. We'll see if there's some more fish. Change my screen here and just see what's in. Like I said, 84-degree water, a little bit cooler than it's been, which is nice. There goes a board. That was a hanger. I always tell people, I get people on guide trips and they see a board move and boom, they're running to it. So the way it works is on my boat with the slow trolling that I'm doing, when you see a rod go over at about the speed of the boat, it's usually hanging on something. They'll usually, boom, pop back off. Same thing with a board. You see a board go back, about the speed of the boat, boom, it'll pop off. Sometimes they get hung, they get buried, and you don't get them back. But when you see a rod kind of go, boom, over, that's when you got a fish. So you'll know it when you see it. That's what I always tell folks out here is it definitely has a look to it. So there you go. So, yeehaw. One thing you'll get too, and you'll get this, you guys bank fishing will get this, you'll get one of these bites. Pow! Rod will fly over, come flying back. Generally speaking, those are gar. Sometimes you'll get a fish that'll hit it, but a lot of times if you've got long-nosed gar, that's usually what those bites are, especially around here. You get any of these that have these long-nosed gar, they'll hit it, bam, it'll go slamming over because they hit these baits and take off with them, especially in the summertime. So a little rod analysis 411 there for you. See if we got anything going. It spreads good. But yeah, planer boards, you can actually, I've had people ask about using these things in, when they're anchored up in river current. And yeah, you can. You can anchor up, and if you've got current, you can use these to swim baits out and keep them out. What happened is, you guys know, you get anchored up somewhere and you cast lines out to the side. If you don't put enough weight on them, everything basically sweeps in line behind your boat. You can actually use these to kind of pull baits and keep them out there. If you're fishing suspended baits, you can do that too. It's one of the advantages of using these bigger boards that I use. Now people have asked about using them bank fishing. Here's the bad part, guys, is if you get snagged and you break one off, the clip, the little pinch clip on there that I showed you, most of the time will hold on to the line, and your line will break around your leader and you'll be able to pull your board in. Sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes that will pull out of there and then your board goes floating down the water. These boards are not cheap, so I don't advise people to do it bank fishing. I just think the risk reward is not worth it for how much you pay for these things. I don't think you get that big of an advantage doing that whenever you're anchored. So that's my take on it. Sip a drink because I've been jacking my jaws for way too long. So some people have messaged me in a couple of my videos. I put up something recently. I'll tell you a story on this. That I injured my back. I pulled a back muscle. And funny story, because it happened right back there. I went to the doctor. They asked me if I knew what happened. I said, yeah, something very, very benign that I did. Just not a big deal. Was out here on a guide trip right back there. A lady hook caught a fish. It was like 24, 26 pounds. It was a good fish. It wasn't the fish. It wasn't lifting the fish in. It was actually turning. I kind of turned and pivoted and dipped to get the net off the side of the boat. And I felt a little pump, something in my back, just kind of a little pain. I was like, not a big deal. And any of you guys out there, ladies, that have had one of these back things happen, you'll probably go and you're nodding your head and going, yep, same thing happens. It sounds exactly like it. That's what the doctor was saying. He said it's like, that's always what it is. He said very seldom does anybody come in and say I was lifting 500 pounds and I hurt my back. Usually it's something very, very small and it's bad body placement, body angling on it. But anyway, hurt the back. It was bad. I've said before, I've told a bunch of people, I've heard people talk about having back injuries, back pain, and I always said, they say, oh yeah, my back's hurting so bad I could barely walk. I'm like, yeah, I've done some hard work and lifted stuff and, cutting firewood, and my back was achy. Now, you guys that have had it know what I'm talking about. It's scary to the point that you can't walk. You can't get up. You can't stand up straight. You wonder if you're going to walk again. But long story short, it's been almost a month, and I'm finally back to functioning normal. I can actually reach down. I couldn't boga grip fish. I could not bend over to get a fish out of the water with boga grip. I had to get down onto my knees and lean over the side of the boat. So it was like just crazy, but it's halfway back to normal. Trying to change some stuff, do some stuff a little better, a little different, and back fishing. So there we go. There we go. So if I can read any of these questions, it's like it's not that. Let's see, got that. Yeah, SC Deer Addict says it takes about 5-6 weeks to heal. You're exactly right. And I remember when I was at the doctor and, they did x-rays and all this crap. And I said, yeah, every disc are fine. I said, well, how long is it going to take? And he said, it's not that bad, about 4 to 6 weeks. And I'm like, whoa, dude, you mean 4 to 6 days, right? He said, oh, no, this is just 4 to 6 weeks. I'm like going, wait. And he was right. It's taking that long. As somebody told me, one of my friends is a physical therapist said, he said, you get 3 days. He said, you get 3 days to lay into bed, whine, moan, and complain. And he said, after that, you got to get up and start gutting it out and just exercising and everything else to get it back function. Otherwise, your muscles just ain't going to get any strength back. And he was right. He also said, it's little bitty increments. It's like, it's little bitty increments every day. And it's like, it ain't like going from, I feel a lot better. It's like, okay, I can almost stand up this morning. I had my son's walking stick to get around. It was that bad. And but yeah, whoever's you're exactly right with the period of time it takes for something like that to heal. Uh, so yeah, it's any of you guys that have it, especially any of you guys that have any chronic disc stuff. The disc stuff is even worse because a lot of that stuff don't heal. So I really feel for you guys that have some of that going on. So anyway, hopefully make some better decisions as far as stretching and stuff like that. So yeah, fun, fun, fun. Let's see if there's some more comments I can read here. Yeah, Britt Sesser's in the crowd. Britt heard on my Britt's one of my buddies from the hunt club and a good friend of mine, and he's heard my whining, moaning, and complaining. So yeah, we were moving some corn around. You know, that was a good example. That was the first good workout I had lifting. Achy. It was an achy pain the next day, but it actually I think helped with a lot of just the rehab. There's some of our pleasure boats. Where's he at? Right there, coming out. Oh, hello, little boat here. Let's see. Let's see a few of the comments now. Bunch of people in here. Somebody's asking about is school in. Our school is in, and that helps during the week out here fishing. With just fewer. It's nice in the mornings out here. You don't have people getting out here with the boat traffic and stuff. It'll probably get bad today. It's a beautiful day. It's Labor Day weekend. People will start rolling up out here in a little bit, I'm sure. But yeah, during the week, it's nice. Was out filming some stuff a couple of days, and I need to look over my shoulder in case the rod goes off. And it's been nice fishing. A Hennafall, there may be a fish on this planer. It's the only thing, I get to talking to you guys and forget it. I think there's fish on there. I really do. My screen's going dark again. Let's see, I think the sun's hitting it. Yeah, that's what it is. Let's see if there's fish. Let me get to past this boat wake and we may have to check some of these. But yeah, it's getting to that nice time of the year. It's also getting toward, well, as Britt was alluding to, deer season. And y'all know me, I like to deer hunt. And that'll be taking up a lot of my time. Not to mention the TV world work stuff is going on. So I've got, it's kind of crazy. So I'm trying to do more of these live things. I need to do more than I do. I apologize to you guys because I know people like watching them. I had planned to get out here and do some night ones this summer, but I had so many guide trips that were going out in the morning. You know, most of the time I'm leaving at right before sunrise, 6 a.m. So, you know, that means getting up at 4:30, get stuff ready. And so, yeah, staying out to fish until 11 or 12 at night, not exactly my idea of fun. That becomes kind of crazy. So I haven't been out doing any. May have a chance here in the next couple of weeks, but it's crazy. A lot of stuff going on. A lot of guide trips. It's taking a day, at least a day, a full day a week to 2 days to get content for the channel. And some of the stuff in the real TV world's happening again. We've got stuff. We've been crewing for college football, NASCAR, that kind of stuff. So it's all over the place. Hopefully everybody's staying healthy. I know we're kind of, I ain't gonna say on the backside of COVID, but we're better than we were. Not as good as I want to be, but I hope everybody's staying healthy out there. I've heard some stuff from some of you guys that have reached out that have had some sickness, illness, and even deaths, which is really the sucky part. That was, it was funny when I was doing guide trips, did a lot of guide trips last year during COVID. Thank the good Lord above, I didn't get it from anybody. But I'd always ask people, and still do, you know, it's like, what's been your experience with COVID? And I heard every combination there was, except for we had somebody die from it until this year. And I've had 3 people on the boat this year that, and it's interesting to see that progression, how it started out with, no, we haven't had it, no, we haven't had it, yeah, we've had it. Yeah, a lot of people had it, I've had it twice, blah, blah, blah. You heard all that. And now there's been like 3 people this year that have had a family member die from it. So I'm hoping we get on the backside. I hope you guys are staying healthy and not having to deal with it because, like I said, knock on wood, thank the Lord above, I haven't had to deal with it, but it may be good, it may be bad, depending on how you get it. So if you get it, I hope it's good. So, because it would really mess up my fishing, I think. Well, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'd probably still go fishing. If I felt halfway decent, I would probably come out here and go fishing, because I see no reason for me being out here in the water is not going to interfere or spread it to anybody. So I'd probably still go fishing. I know during the lockdown, I probably fished more during that time period than any, because there's no better isolation from humanity than being out here. So yeah, anyway, we are making a turn. We're right up on the river channel. There's a bend right here, and I'm tempted to either go that way into some deeper water or stay right on this ledge. I think I'm gonna stay on this ledge. I may even pull into this cove over here and finish up here just to see what happens. Starting to get a little boat traffic. It's not bad. I'm looking over here at the sandbar on our lake. It's only 2 people, so if you're heading down to the sandbar today, you need to head on down. There's still a lot of room. A lot of the good spots are still available. Usually about 10 o'clock on a Saturday, a half-decent day, usually there's somebody already out there drunk at this point. So I think this may be the true sign we're on the backside of the summer when they're not showing up at the sandbar yet. But again, for those of you that joined late, tell all your friends that it's Labor Day weekend. It's time to put the boats away. It's time to put them in storage and not worry about them until next year, because summer's over and you don't have to be on the boat anymore tubing and water skiing and jet skiing. It's over for this year. And go ahead and get out your Halloween decorations. Get the house all up there for fall. Start getting out your cinnamon coffees and your teas, and just, you know, get ready for fall. Let's forget about the lake. Take your pleasure boats, go home. It's been fun. Let's leave the lake to the fishermen for the rest of the year. We'll keep an eye on it. If you're planning to fish, this is the time to be out. I know people message me all the time, when's a good time to go, when's a good time to be out. Now, I deer hunt during a part of this. Some of the best fishing of the year is fall. The seasons are almost similar to what happens in the spring, except there's not to build up to the actual spawning part. But yeah, it is a good time to be out here. If you're not into hunting and being in the woods, it's hard for me to do both. I get so focused and consumed by one over the other that it's kind of hard. But yeah, if you're gonna, if you got the time, this is the time to be out here, especially if you're trying to flathead fish. This is a time when flatheads start to stack up, and especially this temperature drops into the 70s. Some of these places you will find these flatheads in some of these deeper holes, rock piles, brush piles, that kind of stuff where they start to winter at. It's a good time where if you can find one, you can find a bunch of them. So we're getting into that sweet spot temperature-wise. Now, granted, you can catch them anytime right now. It's just generally once it starts to get into that mid-September, late September, the bite really gets good for them. It's almost like they're feeding up before they kind of become very inactive in the winter. So good time to be out there. Bank fishermen, same way. You got fish that are pulling. These water temperatures start to stabilize and warm up some. You got fish, you know, they're moving shallow. They're coming through feeding shallow. The fish don't mind being in shallow water as much. So it can be a good time for everybody to catch a fish. So where's anybody else in here? A little crowd. And we had a little streak there of catching some fish. And poof, they gone. Which goes back to what I have said in some of my videos, and I tell people on guide trips. It's like these fish are in pockets in certain areas. Is that because of mussel beds? Could be. Is that because of bait schools that are in that area? Could be. Is it because of structure? Could be. The area where we had that little flurry of fish, there wasn't a whole lot. There's a little bit of a difference there. We rolled down a point. Now, I mean, there was some structural difference, but it's funny how that works with where these fish are. But that seems to be the kind of the constant theme this year, is that you find them, you hit them, you catch them, boom, you're a hero. And the thing that's burned me a bunch is I come back the next day and the fish aren't there. So, you know, they're moving, who knows? You hitting it at the wrong time of the day, could be. So, bottom line is, get out, get fishing. This is a good time to be out on the water and be fishing this time of the year. With that, guys, I'm gonna jump off here because I'm about to the end of this drag. If you like the live feeds, leave me a comment, let me know. If you like the channel new, there's always some new people that drop in here who've never been here. Consider subscribing. Got a lot of good content, fishing content like this, but also a lot of stuff on how to do things, how to tie rigs, how to keep a home bait tank, how to do some stuff on your boat, all that kind of stuff. And just a good variety of content, and the podcast. I've got the video podcast now that I'm putting up. It's a little different content than any of the other stuff. It doesn't appeal to as many people, but there's a certain group of people that it seems to appeal to, and I really get a lot of feedback, a lot of comments from people, private messages and emails on those videos. So trying to do some of that. I'm just mixing it up. I'm doing what's fun. I'm doing what I like to see, what I'd like to see out there, and hopefully there's some variety. Some guys will like some of it, some will, and I say guys, I throw that as a generic term for anybody watching. That's not just men, it's women too. Our actually women demographic has kind of bumped up a couple of points. There's some people are getting a little better on watching that stuff, and so yeah, that's what all the stuff is out there. So a lot of content. If you need to find any of this stuff, the podcast, DieterMelhornFishing.com. When you go to my website, the links to the podcast, the links to the fishing gear, the links to the guide trip, contacting me, sending me an email, all of that stuff's on there. That's the best focal point. From there you can get to any of the stuff that we got out there. So bam, there we go. I'll look one more time, see if I see rods folded over. I do not see rods folded over. With that, I'm gonna click out of here. Appreciate you guys watching. Love you. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll catch you out on the water.